Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for being here and for joining Attorney General Bonta and I. I'm Kris Mayes, the Attorney General of Arizona. The president ran on a promise to lower costs for Americans and Arizonans, but the cancellation of the Solar for All program does exactly the opposite of that. It will raise costs for low-income families who are already struggling to pay their electricity bills. The Solar for All program was a $7 billion national investment in energy cost savings and renewable energy that directly helped consumers. Arizona received nearly $156 million to administer its own Solar for All program. Adding affordable, reliable, distributed electricity generation to the Arizona grid, which would generate $165 million in savings for Arizonans and create new, good-paying jobs across the state. More than 11,000 low-income households in Arizona will see higher bills thanks to the Trump administration's cancellation of this program. On average, those Arizona families and businesses will see a 20% higher electricity bill without Solar for All. Without federal investment through the Solar for All program, Arizona will not be able to offer new low and no interest loans to single-family households, offer grants to nonprofit or municipality partnerships to develop neighborhood solar projects in low-income and tribal communities, offer grants for distributed solar plus storage to tribal and rural homes that lack electricity access, or distribute resulting savings via monthly utility credits. It is estimated that 15,000 tribal households in Arizona lack any access to electricity, and many tribal communities that do not have electricity often experience outages due to aging infrastructure and lack of investment, especially in the dangerous summer heat. For instance, the Hopi tribe, which is located in northern Arizona, was slated to receive a $25 million award from the EPA's Solar for All program, in addition to the $156 million awarded to the state of Arizona. The tribe planned to bring electricity, often for the very first time, to hundreds of homes on the tribe's reservation with distributed solar and battery storage systems. Without Solar for All, the Hopi tribe and many other tribal communities across Arizona will lose access to critical energy infrastructure that they desperately need. It's not just home and neighborhood solar programs put at risk. Millions of dollars in support funding for essential industry stakeholders have also been canceled by the Trump administration. Some examples include $33 million to integrate rooftop solar into the purchase of new homes, canceled. $11 million to support thousands of new jobs for energy infrastructure, gone. And the $16.7 million that Arizona was planning to use to support community lenders that help small businesses and families transition to solar energy, DOA. Beyond the financial impact, the health and safety impact could also be significant. Without the crucial investment of the Solar for All program, Arizona's utilities will have a more difficult time reaching their voluntary carbon neutrality goals by 2050, which will, of course, impact Arizonans' air quality and overall health. The canceled projects were expected to help Arizona avoid 2.4 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions, representing an average drop of 42% in annual emissions avoided per participating household. Without Solar for All, Arizona will see more particulate pollution, nitric oxide, and sulfur dioxide released into our atmosphere. The loss of the Solar for All program will also make it more difficult for Arizonans to meet the projected 40% increase in energy demand in the coming years, leading to a less reliable, less resilient grid and higher electricity bills for Arizona households and businesses alike. The unprecedented illegal cancellation of this critical program is simply unacceptable. Without this program, for many Arizonans, clean energy will be out of reach. Beyond the fact that this energy infrastructure funding has already been appropriated to our states and is owed to Arizonans, protecting solar projects and lowering electricity bills is personal to me. Arizona families are already facing sky-high electricity bills, and we will not let the EPA abandon its commitment to fund solar energy projects that would lower costs for more than 900,000 Arizona households. I have made a career in Arizona by protecting Arizona consumers and safeguarding renewable energy and the subsequent lower costs that it leads to. And I am not going to back down now. And now it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce my colleague and friend, Attorney General Rob Bonta. Rob.
Thank you, AG Mayes. Wonderful to be with you as always and to team up and partner as we defend the rule of law. Good morning, everyone. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General, and I want to say thank you for joining us this morning as we announce the latest lawsuits, plural, that we're filing against the Trump administration. Trump's Environmental Protection Agency has, as mentioned, unlawfully shuttered the Solar for All program, terminating $7 billion of grants for programs across the nation. And these are programs that would help lower income and disadvantaged communities adopt solar energy, lower energy costs for consumers, promote energy independence, and create new green jobs. In California, we stand to lose almost $250 million, a quarter billion. By cutting off these congressionally obligated funds, Trump's EPA is violating its contracts with each of our states, acting far beyond the scope of the agency's authority and violating the separation of powers and the U.S. Constitution. Simply put, Trump's EPA is in breach of our contract and acting unlawfully, which is why we're taking them to court twice. Before I dive into the details and the impact of this illegal action on California, I want to acknowledge my fellow attorneys general who've taken the lead on these two lawsuits. Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes, Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Washington Attorney General Nick Brown. Amazing leaders, amazing colleagues. Thank you for your leadership. I'm proud to join them in filing these lawsuits today, which together mark California's 43rd and 44th lawsuits against the Trump administration in 38 weeks, more than one a week. Yesterday, we filed the lawsuit in the Court of Federal Claims to ensure we get the funding states are owed. Today, we're filing a separate lawsuit in the District Court for the Western District of Washington to declare EPA's actions illegal and require EPA to reinstate the Solar for All program in accordance with Congress's direction. I also want to thank the members of California DOJ's Bureau of Environmental Justice, the Environmental Justice and Protection section, and the Natural Resources Law section, who are working diligently to represent the people of California and the primary grant recipient, the California Public Utility Commission. In this case, you'll hear from CPUC momentarily. Let's just start from the beginning. Congress created the Solar for All program as part of the larger Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, which stemmed from the Inflation Reduction Act. Congress, which the Constitution designates the power of the purse, appropriated $7 billion to the states, including almost $250 million to California, to follow through on the mandate of the IRA and to achieve the goals of the Solar for All program. As an agency under the executive branch, the EPA had no legal right to terminate this congressionally approved program or rescind funds that have already been obligated to the states. While EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin spouted off in a post on X that the so-called Big Beautiful Bill eliminated the program, that is actually dead wrong, not true. The bill clearly states that only unobligated funds were rescinded. The Solar for All funds were already essentially fully legally obligated, following all of the required processes and procedures when President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill into law. Our states work in close cooperation with the EPA, worked in close cooperation with the EPA for months to create clear plans for these funds, which the EPA approved last year. EPA formed binding contractual agreements with each of the states, and it breached those contracts when it baselessly terminated each of those agreements in August. The Trump administration may think that an ex post is the end-all be-all, but I'm here to tell them the law still stands. The law still governs. The law is still determinative. With these lawsuits, we're asking the Court of Federal Claims to rule that the Trump EPA breached its contract with California and award us and the other states money damages. We're also asking the District Court to declare that the Trump EPA's termination of the Solar for All program is unlawful and to require EPA to reinstate the Solar for All program. This is just the latest example of the Trump administration's sham promises to save Americans money, bring down costs, create more jobs, and strengthen American innovation. Gutting this program, in fact, does the exact opposite. Solar for All would have enabled more than 900,000 households in lower income and disadvantaged communities across the country to access low-cost solar energy, meaning lower electricity bills and cleaner air nationwide. Here in California, the California Public Utility Commission was set to receive $200 million to build mid-scale community solar power systems in the territories of the investor-owned utilities, PG&E, SoCal Gas, SoCal Edison, and San Diego Gas and Electric, which would offer 20% monthly discounts on electricity bills for participating households, primarily for lower and middle income families. These community solar systems could be installed on warehouse roofs or in parking lots, and nearby neighbors would be able to tap in to the energy generated and get discounted rates in return. A small portion of the funds for California, approximately $25 million, would be used to establish solar projects for low-income residents living in the territories of publicly owned utilities like the LA Department of Water and Power and the Sacramento and East Bay municipal utility districts. This includes community solar projects, multi-family rooftop solar, or single-family rooftop solar. Another $10 million would be used to get multifamily affordable housing units up to date with the infrastructure needed to install solar. California's piece of the Solar for All program also included $9 million for workforce training, enabling more California workers to take on green jobs and gain marketable skills in solar installation and energy storage to take them into the future. These funds have been obligated. Plans have been made, approved, and begun. Multiple state agencies have spent thousands of hours preparing to unveil these solar programs in California. Projects that are well underway are already being halted, creating an undue financial and administrative burden for our state for absolutely no lawful reason. California and our fellow states are owed the funds we've been granted by Congress and which EPA in turn committed to us. Instead of supporting agencies like the California Public Utility Commission and the California Energy Commission in building innovative infrastructure that would catapult our state and country into a cleaner, more energy-independent future, the Trump administration is trying to hold us in the past, tethered to fossil fuel companies. In doing so, Trump is making America more expensive and more polluted. Meanwhile, other countries are outpacing us in the global race toward clean energy. China, Trump's top competitor, is lapping the U.S.'s clean energy growth and bringing down its reliance on fossil fuels, while America's is only climbing. Solar for All is a real opportunity to introduce more clean energy throughout the country and cut costs for American families who continue to be buried by rising costs and high monthly bills. It's an opportunity to address our climate crisis, secure America's economic competitiveness, and strengthen our energy independence. If that's not enough for the administration, maybe this will be. Terminating Solar for All is unlawful. It's a breach of contract and a violation of law and a violation of the U.S. Constitution. My colleagues and I won't stand idly by while Trump's EPA breaks the law, threatens our future, and throws our clean energy goals into chaos. We'll see the administration in court again. Before I hand it over to our next speaker at the CPUC, I want to again acknowledge the team at the California DOJ who've dedicated themselves to this case. They don't do it for the limelight or the recognition, but I want to provide them a moment of recognition for their great and hard work. Mary Logan, Dylan Redor, Rebecca Hunter, Theodore McCombs, Abigail Blodgett, Mi Young Park, Daniel Sheehan, and Nick Green. Thank you. And now let me turn it over to the CPUC President, Alice Reynolds. We will circle back at the end for questions. Take it away, President.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. I'm Alice Reynolds, President of the California Public Utilities Commission. I'm pleased to stand with Attorney General Bonta, Attorney General Mayes, and other states in challenging the U.S. EPA's decision to terminate the Solar for All grants, a decision which undermines the rule of law and harms Californians. This federal administration has been clear that it wants to block deployment of clean and renewable energy such as solar and wind, and will violate the law to do so. These efforts are pointless and harmful. California has been at the forefront of developing clean energy for a reason. Solar, storage, and wind are crucial to delivering safe, reliable, and affordable energy to customers in California and elsewhere. The federal administration's actions are driving up costs for ratepayers. They are needlessly slowing new generation at a time when load growth is increasing, jeopardizing grid reliability and economic growth. We are here today on one action against the federal government's unlawful termination of California's Solar for All grants. As Attorney General Bonta mentioned, California undertook extensive efforts to design an effective program and was ultimately awarded approximately $250 million to deliver electric bill savings to low-income, disadvantaged, and tribal communities through the increased adoption of solar and battery storage. This grant would have supported the installation of over 600 renewable energy facilities and delivered electric bill savings to participating low-income and tribal customers throughout the state. California was well underway to implement its grant and was fully compliant with the grant terms. Here's what we could have had. Community solar. We could have funded new mid-scale solar developments that provide monthly bill discounts for at least 20% to participating households. We could have had community solar projects that support tribes. A portion of our funds were designated for that. We could have had support for our solar on multifamily affordable housing, which would have prepared sites to enable rooftop or rooftop plus storage deployment, exclusively serving low-income affordable multifamily housing. We could have had grants, augmented grants for existing community solar, rooftop solar programs in publicly owned utility territories. And we're also losing the opportunity to establish work training programs in solar and storage sectors with outreach to low-income communities. Despite all of these opportunities, the EPA unlawfully terminated California's grant, as well as other Solar for All grants, based on a plainly false legal argument, claiming that Congress had rescinded obligated Solar for All grants in H.R. 1. The CPUC joins the California Attorney General in challenging this unlawful termination. The termination is a short-sighted action that takes away funding that would have allowed energy projects to go forward. With the loss of this funding, we're missing a precious opportunity, the opportunity to reduce costs for all California electricity customers. To be clear, the CPUC will continue our progress toward clean energy for all Californians and a sustainable energy future. I'm honored to join Attorney General Bonta and Attorney General Mayes here today, and I thank them and the other attorneys general who are joining in these actions for their leadership. And I really appreciate everyone's attendance here today. Thank you very much.